On day 89, amidst a landscape cluttered with weathered missing persons flyers, a family moves silently through the deserted store of a ghost town. Evelyn Abbott, played by Emily Blunt, the mother, carefully sifts through abandoned prescription bottles in search of medicine for her sick eldest son, Marcus Noah Jupe. With reassuring sign language, she comforts her deaf daughter, Reagan Millicent Simmons, while Reagan checks on her younger brother, Beau Cade Woodward, who sits drawing a rocket on the floor. Beau signs excitedly to Reagan about their escape plan involving the rocket. Meanwhile, Lee Abbott, John Krasinski, the father, scavenges electronics for a radio and tools for Reagan. As dusk approaches, Evelyn signals that it's time to leave. However, tension mounts as Beau grabs a noisy electronic space shuttle toy, prompting Lee to swiftly remove its batteries, cautioning Beau with signs that it's too loud. Despite their precautions, as they trek home along their marked sand path and reach a footbridge, the toy unexpectedly emits its sound, drawing the attention of lurking alien creatures. In a desperate attempt to protect Beau, Lee rushes back, but his efforts are futile as one of the creatures swiftly seizes and fatally attacks Beau, plunging the family into a heart-wrenching tragedy. On day 472, life continues quietly yet cautiously at the Abbott family farm. Lee is entrenched in the basement of their farmhouse, where he has meticulously set up a complex surveillance system of cameras and monitors. Amid his collection of radios and electronic equipment, there are numerous news clippings detailing an ongoing alien invasion. Lee's handwritten notes hint at strategies: blind, attack sound, and armor. Upstairs, Evelyn tends to preparations in the cellar, where she carefully hangs a homemade mobile. Notably pregnant, she arranges an oxygen tank beside an infant breathing mask, placed near a covered, soundproof crib. Atop the grain silo, Lee finds solace in memories as he looks through photographs of Beau. Meanwhile, downstairs, Evelyn tasks Reagan with informing Lee that dinner is ready, a duty Reagan undertakes reluctantly. They quietly gather for a meal served on lettuce leaves instead of plates, sharing a moment of silent prayer before eating. Later, amidst a game of Monopoly, Marcus accidentally knocks over a lantern, igniting the rug. Lee swiftly extinguishes the flames, and the family nervously awaits any repercussions. Their tense calm is shattered by a loud noise on the roof, prompting Lee to investigate. To his relief, it turns out to be a raccoon, not a threat. He retreats back to the basement, where he focuses on developing a cochlear implant processor to aid Reagan's hearing. Evelyn joins him there, sharing a tender moment as they dance slowly to Neil Young's Harvest Moon, using a pair of earbuds to share the music and a smile amid the uncertain quiet of their existence. On day 473, as Lee meticulously pours sand along their marked paths outside, Evelyn tends to her health in the cellar, checking her blood pressure as her due date approaches. Placing a stethoscope on her abdomen, she listens to a reassuring strong heartbeat from the baby. Inside the house, Reagan carefully navigates the marked parts of the floor to avoid creaking as she enters, intent on going to the basement. However, Lee intercepts her, planning to test enhancements he's made to her new cochlear implant processor using small amplifiers from a stereo. Despite his efforts, Reagan signs that such modifications never work, leaving Lee disappointed as he hands her the devices. Undeterred, Lee prepares for an excursion and initially invites Marcus to join him, but the boy, frightened, declines. Surprisingly, Reagan expresses a desire to accompany him, but Lee insists she stay to look after Evelyn. Disappointed, Reagan retreats to her room, where she tries on the new processor with hopeful anticipation, only to face devastation when it fails to function. Fueled by determination, Reagan packs a bag that includes her cutting pliers and a carefully wrapped object from her dresser before leaving the farm, setting out on a journey that promises challenges and unknown dangers beyond their isolated homestead. On their return journey from the river, Lee and Marcus encounter an old man emerging from the woods, who tragically discovers his deceased wife nearby. Despite Lee's urgent pleas for silence, the man's grief erupts in a primal scream, drawing the attention of lurking aliens. Lee reacts swiftly, grabbing Marcus and sprinting for home as the alien swiftly seizes and kills the old man. Meanwhile, back at the walking bridge near their home, Reagan solemnly unwraps the space shuttle toy from her dresser. With her cutting pliers, she deftly modifies it so that it lights up without emitting any sound, a critical adaptation in their noise-sensitive world. As she contemplates her brother Beau's makeshift memorial, she prepares herself for the next steps of her journey. At the farmhouse, Evelyn, in the midst of carrying laundry upstairs from the basement, inadvertently catches the bag on a protruding nail on the stairs, causing her to stumble. Though the pain is intense, she manages to stifle any cries, but her accidental disturbance of picture frames draws the attention of an alien into their home. Swiftly, she pulls her foot from the nail, activates the red warning lights around their property, and searches frantically for a mechanical kitchen timer. Down in the basement, the alien cautiously descends, listening for signs of life. Evelyn, now in labor, races upstairs as the tension mounts. In the bathroom, she braces herself for childbirth as she spots another alien in the front yard. With only moments to spare, Evelyn sinks into the bathtub, her labor intensifying, while the alien closes in upstairs. As Lee returns home and discovers the red warning lights activated, he urgently communicates with Marcus using sign language, indicating rocket and instructing him to create a loud distraction. Armed with a shotgun, Lee searches the house, his heart sinking as he finds Evelyn's blood in the bathroom. Devastated, he begins to weep, believing she's dead, until he finds her safe in the shower, cradling their newborn son. Meanwhile, Marcus, on his way back to the house, hears an approaching alien and dashes into a cornfield, accidentally knocking himself out against a tractor wheel. Reagan notices Marcus's flashlight beam from afar, but is unaware of the alien closing in behind her. As the alien nears, Reagan's cochlear implant suddenly emits a piercing feedback noise, distressing the creature and causing it to flee. Reagan locates Marcus and leads him to safety atop the grain silo. In the cellar, Lee places their newborn in the soundproof crib and secures it. Evelyn, reflecting on regret over Beau and their past choices, implores Lee to promise he'll protect their children before she finally rests. Lee sets off to find Reagan and Marcus, just as water begins to flood into the cellar. Evelyn wakes to find herself surrounded by rising water, and worse yet, an alien has entered the room. With quick thinking, she carefully retrieves her baby from the crib, shrouded in the soundproofing, and hides behind the cascading waterfall in the cellar, hoping to evade detection. On top of the silo, Marcus tries to reassure Reagan with signs that their father will come for them, but Reagan knows the danger and responds grimly that he'll come for Marcus, not for her. Suddenly, a hatch breaks loose, causing Marcus to plummet into the silo where he begins to sink into the grain. Reagan takes swift action, leaping into the silo to rescue Marcus. She pushes the hatch towards him, enabling him to grab hold and escape drowning. However, Reagan herself starts sinking into the grain. With Marcus's help, she is pulled to safety just as the alien, attracted by the noise, crashes into the silo. The siblings take cover under the hatch door as Reagan's cochlear implant once again emits a piercing feedback, driving the alien to crash out of the silo. They manage to crawl out and find refuge in a pickup truck just as Lee arrives, armed with an axe. However, Lee is attacked by the alien, causing Marcus to scream in fear. The noise draws the alien's attention to the truck, where it begins to tear through the vehicle. In a brave move, Reagan turns off her implant's feedback, allowing the alien to resume its attack. Severely injured, Lee gazes at his daughter and signs his love to her, sacrificing himself to save them. Reagan and Marcus release the truck's brake, rolling it back towards their home where they reunite with Evelyn, who has been waiting anxiously. Evelyn and the children hastily retreat into the safety of their home, knowing that an alien is closing in. They make their way down into the basement, a place Reagan has never been allowed to enter before. As they descend, Reagan's eyes are drawn to the evidence of her father's meticulous work, the tools, diagrams, and equipment laid out for repairing and enhancing her cochlear implant processor. Emotions well up inside her as she takes in the significance of what her father did for her, all while the basement lights begin to flicker ominously, heightening the tension of their situation. As the alien descends into the basement, cornering Evelyn and the kids, Reagan seizes a pivotal moment. She recalls her father's scribbled question, "What is their weakness?" and spots the hearing aids on his workbench. With sudden clarity, she activates her cochlear implant processor, creating a high-pitched feedback that causes the alien to convulse in pain. Thinking fast, Reagan amplifies the feedback by placing the processor near a microphone, intensifying its effect. The alien collapses momentarily, weakened by the piercing noise, but manages to stagger back to its feet. In that critical moment, Evelyn springs into action, grabbing Lee's shotgun and swiftly ending the alien's threat with a fatal shot to its head. Their relief is short-lived as they observe on the surveillance monitors that their altercation has attracted more aliens to their location. Undeterred, Reagan turns up the basement speakers. Meanwhile, Evelyn stands poised with the shotgun, ready to defend her family against the onslaught. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more film caps.